All righty then. Welcome to today's call, everybody. It is Friday, May 14th of 2021, and this is the Realty Classroom, TRC, Sales Coaching and Training Call. I know some of you have sent me your calls to be analyzed here today. So just to let you all know, I have Karen's of her calls. I have Sarah Corey, and I have Josh. And if Angeli is here, because Josh is a new member of the mastermind, I wanted to take her first, but you'll have to let me know that you are here, Angeli, so that I can deal with that early here. So let me know. Let me just take a look at the roster here, see who's in here already, because I'm starting right on time. And I don't see them here. So I'll go to those last just to give her a chance to join. I'll have to text him while we're doing this. So Karen and Alan, you both there? I assume that's the Karen we're talking about, right, Alan?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. And I see Karen there too. Her mic is open too. So Karen, you with us?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, afternoon now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm in the Midwest, so it just struck noon. All right. So let's go to yours and let's just hit them. And let's hear what we have. We have three of them, like Tracy, Ari, and Louise, and or Lewis. And let's just go for this. I'm gonna go for Tracy first. Here we go.
Hello.
Good morning, Tracy.
Who's calling?
My name is Karen. I'm with Allen's Luxury Homes. I'm calling you because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you some valuable information that will help you sell it next time. May I do that?
Sure.
And the address I can send it to would be 9810 Tangle Line Drive, Dallas.
Sure.
Okay. And if you don't mind my asking, what's the reason for selling?
We moved.
Oh, you moved? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you just want to get it sold and be done with it?
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, I'll send the information out to you, and then I'll call you next week to confirm that you've received it, okay?
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for calling.
Oh, and by the way, since you are moved already and selling, how motivated are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm ready to get rid of it. I'm just not real interested in signing any contracts with agents. I'm willing to pay commissions, but I don't want to sign a contract.
Okay. Okay. Would it be easier for you if I had Alan stop by with a package of information for you?
Honestly, not at this time. I'm pretty swamped, but
All right. Well, I'll send the package out
Good.
to you, and then I'll get back with you next week. Follow up.
Okay.
All right. Technically, way better. I mean, technically, it's really good. It's you just cut to the chase. You get to the point. You get a little fouled up there in the transition where you go back in time. I mean, you get the why a little bit early from her because she cuts off. So you do a good job. You go back and you retrace and you have the why. Geez, it's just more casual about the 1 to 10. Gee, pretty big reason to move on a scale of 1 to 10. How motivated are you? Right? And just get that. But she's very, it's like last week we heard the word very when, I heard it this week in one-on-one coaching. I don't know if I'm going to get those samples back from Josh, but I heard the word very. Well, very is, if somebody says that, then they're up in that 9 to 10 category or close enough to it. We don't have to beat them up to say, hey, but what's the number? So, but I think you did a good job recovering. And I think this is a good, viable person. As much as her pushback is this, I don't want to hire anybody. I don't want to be in a contract. That's probably because she had a bad experience. So I like that, because it's very, you asked, would you like me? You still went there, which was good. So you were aggressive. But I think ultimately the most important thing is you didn't try to do too much here. You didn't continue to push. You didn't get weird. You didn't argue, with her and debate all that. So I think ultimately what happened is, you got yourself to the point where what you were doing was just getting the package out the door. And that's your job. And that's all that you can do. Right? Got me?
Right.
Okay. So that's all that you can do. And that's good. Now, when you call back, the concept is that this is a benevolent Trojan horse. That when this package arrives like a Trojan horse, it gets through the radar, through the gates, and when it's opened up, there's benevolence in it. There's not a bunch of mean old soldiers about to take over the fort. It's benevolent. It's real information. It's impactful, right? So now she's willing to pay a commission. So what would you do the next time? You got to make sure that the notes are clear. But now you call back the next time, and what do? Tell me what you would do intuitively the next time.
Well, first I'd make sure she receives the package of information, and then I would see if she has any questions that Alan can answer for her, and follow the next script.
Okay. Well, hey guys, someone's got a noisy mic there. You gotta be careful if you have a live mic with me. It's muted. Okay. It might have been Kate. Kate, you might have come in a little hot there. You can mute your mic, or if it's Grant, whomever's there. Thank you. So, yes, you would verify that the package got there. Okay. Yes. But the second thing would be that you come in and you say, hey, look, at last time we were talking, you referenced that you were willing to pay a commission. I was talking to Alan about the property. I think Autumn does this real well. I was talking to Danny and telling him about the property, and he'd love to have the nickel tour. Could I have him stop by? You don't even have to make it so, formal that he's coming in for his insights. Say, because I know you're willing to pay a commission, Alan would love to see the property. And I'm sure he'll drop a few insights while he's there to help you, right? Just something soft like that. That's what you should do specifically on a call like this the next time. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right. Autumn, if you're going to ask Autumn questions in the search, just make sure you say them out loud here. I don't want to try to track both the chat and what's going on over here. Okay. So let's try to keep Autumn up in here with me if you have questions, because she will be happy to give her insight too as an expert at this with me. All right. Good job. I'm going to go to the next one here. Okay. We'll try to zip through these. That was much better. The challenge is, Karen, that as you go and you be more specific, we don't want to lose your personality, right? But I like this evolution better. If you can stay tactically correct, then you can start to infuse your personality back in. I think before it was too much personality. You ended up doing it on muscle. Now start to try to test moving your, that beautiful tone that you have back in here. But technically, that's your best call yet you sent me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Here we go. Oops, come on, play. That one. Here we go.
Hello.
Good evening. Is this Kevin?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Kevin. My name is Karen, and I'm with Alan's Luxury Homes. And I'm calling you because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you some valuable information that'll help you sell it next time. May I do that?
I didn't really put it up for sale. I kind of tested the market, but I'll be back in Dallas next week. I'm actually going to put it on the market, so sure.
Okay. Would you like the information to help you sell it next time?
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like to go ahead and send it to me, that's fine. I won't be able to do anything with it until I get back to Dallas, which will be Monday.
Okay, and you want me to send it 2760 Beachmont Drive, Dallas?
Sure, I appreciate that.
Okay, I will certainly do that. And then I'll call you back next week to make sure you've received the information, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a great evening.
You got really thrown off when he said what he said. What happened? Tell me what happened.
Well, when he said he was going to be in Dallas next week, that kind of just interrupted my line of thought to where I should ask him if it would be okay for Alan to stop by since he's going to be in Dallas next week.
Okay, what other piece of information, pertinent information, did he give you?
That he's anxious to sell it.
Oh, no. It's very specific. You ready? Go back and listen. I want you to listen very closely when he says what he says. And it throws you off at a subconscious level, not a conscious one. So listen to it. Well, listen to it happen. It's fascinating to me, what happens to the mind. He says something very specific. Here we go.
Hello.
Good evening. Is this Kevin?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Kevin. My name is Karen, and I'm with Alan's Luxury Homes. And I'm calling you because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you some valuable information that'll help you sell it next time. May I do that?
I didn't really put it up for sale. I kind of tested the market, but I'll be back in Dallas next week. I'm actually going to put it on the market, so sure.
Danny,
Okay.
we can't hear it.
Would you like
Sorry.
the information
Sorry.
to help you?
Hang on.
Oh,
I muted my
yeah.
mic because there was noise
Yeah,
behind me.
okay,
My
go ahead.
bad. I'm going to go
That's
back
fine.
and do
I
it
won't be
again.
able to do
I'll
it
try to
with
find the
this
spot where it
Didn't
goes.
really put it up for sale. I
There you
kind
go.
of
Ready?
tested
Here
the
we go.
market,
Let's
but
play it again.
Sell. So I'd like to send you some valuable information to help you sell it next time. May I do that?
I didn't really put it up for sale. I kind of tested the market, but I'll be back in Dallas next week. I'm actually going to put it on the market, so sure.
What's he say?
That you tested the market, didn't have it for sale.
Okay. He missed it again. Here we go.
Okay. May I do that?
I didn't really put it up for sale. I kind of tested the market, but I'll be back in Dallas next week. I'm actually going to put it on the market, so sure.
What's he say?
That he didn't really have it up for sale.
Oh, you're really having a tough time hearing it. I'm going to put it on the market.
Oh, okay.
He says it loudly and clearly. That's why we have to be really good at the tennis match here. Now hear him say it. Here we go.
They'll help you sell it next time. May I do that?
I didn't really put it up for sale. I kind of tested the market, but I'll be back in Dallas next week. I'm actually going to put it on the market, so sure.
If you miss that, you miss a very poignant piece of information. This is why this call has to be as much about being an aggressive listener, right, as it needs to be anything else. Now, again, I have a trained ear, so for me, it's easier, okay? But that's pertinent information about timing. So what we have is we have a script that we've developed to provoke them to read their mind aloud, just like that. So you should have heard that, and you should have further qualified that. Oh, really? When were you thinking about putting it back on the market? Just go right to the pertinent conversation. Because then Alan bringing it, and then you get weirdly thrown off by this, and you just lose your way. That's why we have a script. Because you're like, well, would you like it? He said yes. Why are you going there? You know what I mean? And again, I know this is easier said than done because in the heat of the moment, somebody finally answers the phone after all these phone calls. So much easier to break it down from where I'm sitting today than to actually make the call. So when I'm doing any kind of call to a client or Autumn has me a Zoom call or something, I am listening intently for any indication, any seam like this, that shows me that this is potentially a very viable opportunity for Alan. So when you call him back and you didn't put these in your notes, do you see the problem? So what I would recommend to all you telemarketers, you listen to the calls that you made yourself. Don't wait till Fridays for Danny. Danny's just the trainer and the coach who's going to try to refine your brain to be like this in the heat of the moment. That's my job. But for you, it's also an opportunity to listen to a recorded call and take your notes, to hear something that you didn't hear that was subtle, because now that's information that you have when you call back that gives you the competitive advantage. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, good. Next.
All right.
Good evening, Luis.
Uh,
Is this Luis?
yes.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I'm with Allen's Luxury Homes. I'm calling you because I saw your beautiful home online and noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you something that will help you sell it next time. May I do that?
No, that's fine. I'm really not in the market right now selling.
You're putting it on the market, or you're not?
No, I said I'm not in the market of selling right now.
Okay. Are you renting it?
No, what I meant to say, I'm not planning on selling it in the next couple of months.
Okay. Well, could I go ahead and send you this information that will help you sell?
Okay. All right. Here again, it's like it's the same critique I would have in both calls. If you look at the spreadsheet, and I know there's a lot going on there, Karen, and everybody else listening to this call. I know there's so much easier. I'm going to repeat this, what I just said. There's so much easier for me to coach it sitting here nice and calmly with you all as we have, the perspective of looking back in time. I understand that. However, it is important for me to teach you this is a tennis match of information. You're trying to give them some, they're trying to accept it. You're trying to provoke with more questions, you're trying to hear it, right? It's a tennis match. And so in the heat of the moment, it's like, I forget who says it. You don't know what it's really like, to fight until you get punched in the face, right? This is a quote that goes something like that in sports. So you can have a great plan until you get in the ring and somebody punches you in the face, and all the training and all the coaching goes out the window. Well, that's essentially what's happening in a real call, is that somebody says something, but for the most part, experientially, we start to hear the same kinds of things over and over. So what we say is, generically, when somebody says, oh no, oh, did your plans change? Oh, did your plans change? Because you want the finality at the end of this outcome. Whereas I get it, I think in the training, the burden that I have is to not yes, I'm going to heavily train you, get the package to them, because it's the benevolent Trojan horse that opens up new relationship by giving them the goods. Yes, I have an emphasis on you understanding the value of that package. Yes, I want you to get it out to them. But there's no sense in sending it if his plans has really changed. But here we go again, 2 calls in a row. He does say something extremely particular about his timing. And I want you to hear it again. Listen for my clue to you. Listen for his comment about timing. Both guys give you a clue. And that clue, should make this a very easy call for you, right? Because you can go, once they give you a very particular scenario, don't feel stuck by the script. Feel supported by the script, right? This is that moment where we all want you to be human, hear it, and be logical. You still have the safety. I don't want you to make stuff up, but you still have the safety of saying, oh, you got this timing? Well, let me get this out to you quickly, right? And just get it done. Hey, by the way, did you get it? Because I know you were going to move, or you're saying you're going to put it back on the market. Right? See, the last guy, you could have said, are you committed to an agent already? Right? You could have asked that. That will come with experience. I understand that. It's better to be able to hear calls where we don't get it exactly right. Something happens. And now you can call them the next week and say, hey, I should have asked you. You committed to an agent? Alan would love to see it before you list it and give you his insights before you commit. It's no obligation. Now you learn to push. But I'm going to go back in this call. I'm going to play this call. I want you to listen to him very closely again. And I want you to hear your clue is you're listening for timing. And he's going to give it to you like the last guy. Here we go.
No, that's fine. I'm really not in the market right now selling.
You're putting it on the market, or you're not?
No, I said I'm not in the market of selling right now.
Okay. Are you renting it?
No, what I meant to say, I'm not planning on selling it in the next couple of months.
Okay. Well, can I go ahead and...
There it is. So can I go ahead and send it? Right? Anyway, and it will help you. Say, oh, are you planning on selling it inside the next 6 months? Next 12 months? Because that's your criteria for getting the package out. Because if you are thinking about selling it in the next 6 to 12 months, this information will help you when you do so. And it's free, it's no obligation, and we know it'll help you. But if he's not, then it's a waste of Alan's money. Follow?
Right.
Yeah. Good job, though. These are good calls. Technically, vastly improved in 7 days. Vastly. And I mean vastly. These are effective calls, Karen. Effective.
Okay.
Yeah, very. It's much better than where it was just a week ago. Alan, these are way better, right? Yeah, way better.
And I've got the package going out. I sent the package out to Kevin, and then, she'll follow up with him Monday. And then Tracy's package goes out today. Luis, not sure what to do with him since he's the next few months.
I would even say that send it, or you call back and say, I was just talking to my telemarketer. Yeah. She said she had a conversation. Sound like your plans might have changed, but I just want to verify. Were you thinking about doing something the next 6 to 12 months? Now, Karen could make that call, or you, okay? Because I think this is a real good training moment for everybody to go back when you're lost on a call. You have nothing to lose, and it's for your own training purposes. Say, I forgot to ask you, did your plans change so that you're not going to sell inside the next 12 months? Because even if you're going to sell inside 12 months, this package will help you. I think that's a good cleanup call, and one of you should make it. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, she said, so that's one of, I think, Karen, how many calls did you have in the past day or two that were the same thing? No, I've changed my mind.
I had 4 yesterday that were very, very similar to that one.
Yeah, good. All right, so now you...
Before I could continue the conversation, and then that gave me time to pause and think about it, and then I wonder
if I should call them back and pursue.
Don't wonder. When in doubt, call. Don't wonder. No wonderment. Call, because you can't do anything but learn, right? Right now,
Right.
or any time. Learn about that particular person. Hey, look at, even a pro can get tired one day and feel like, oh God, what happened to me today? I'm off today. I should have asked. Let me call him back, right? I mean, I know with this stuff with Autumn where she didn't know what to say early on. I'd say, well, did you know this? No, but I'll call him back. And she does. Boom.
Yeah.
It's just boom. We just boom. There's no thinking. We just do a lot of doing, right?
Right.
Okay. Good job, though. Vastly improved. Angeli, are you here now?
Yes, Danny, I'm sorry
That's
about
okay.
that.
Nope.
You were actually calling the last names earlier when I came in.
No problem.
I just don't want to interrupt.
No problem, darling. Welcome.
you.
Thrilled to hear some of these calls with you. I've got 3 attachments. I'm going to do the same thing and go through it. I had the pleasure of listening to you this week on a couple of recordings, and I was very impressed for somebody that's never been in our world before. So here we go. Let's listen.
Hi, Carol.
Yes, Miss Carol.
Oh, hi, Carol. My name is Casey, and I'm calling from a local real estate team. Well, there is a massive shortage of inventory of homes in your neighborhood, and sellers are getting top dollars right now.
Yeah,
Do
we
you
had
have
a
any?
real estate agent stop by our house just a couple days ago. We're not interested in selling. We've lived here for over 4 decades and not leaving anytime soon.
I
So
see.
we
Well,
understand the prices are red hot, but we're not in the selling market. So
I see. Well,
Right.
do you know any of your neighbors who are selling within the next 12 months?
the real estate agent we talked to is dealing with one of them, so probably she wouldn't like it if you horned in on her.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
All right, good, Angeli. Effective. And again, I'm working diligently with Josh on the words. I don't love the words that he gave you in the beginning because he and I are trying to fix it. So when he and I spoke this week, I think it's, by the way, for all of you that have never heard a true circle prospecting call, Angeli not only does them, but is very good at them. And the adjustments that Josh made very quickly was to arm her with better language. And that's what he's doing. So he had always used, I'm calling from a local real estate team. I like that. I think it's good. I think it makes it feel like, he's right there, and that's good. But then I didn't like the departure, Angeli and the rest of you, to change the tone of voice to say, I'm local, and then sound like a true, like almost like a machine. There's a massive shortage of properties in the it sounds very weirdly detached after we were very attached, right, Angeli? It feels very local. I know you're in the Philippines, but it feels very local when you open, and then it sounds very generic, I told him. And that's not you, that's the language, right? So what I wanted to do, I gave him some new language. I don't know if he shared it with you yet, but it was to there's a shortage of properties for sale in your neighborhood, right? Just something like that keeps it a local feeling. And it uses more power words. It doesn't go super general, it stays super local. I'm calling from a local real estate team, and there's a massive shortage of properties available for sale in your neighborhood. So I was wondering if you're thinking about selling, right? Boom, let them answer just like you do. So we can tighten this up. But very good. I mean, you're very effective. And what I like is in the second beat, you don't really let him off the hook. He says, you let him speak, which I also like. You let him say, no, we lived here. We don't have any intent. A neighbor stopped by. Well, do you know any of your neighbors? And you get somewhere with them. And the calls I heard the other day, you definitely get somewhere. And if I hear something like that today, I can fix it. But this is a very good call. Let me go to the next one.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hi, Kevin. My name is Casey, and I'm calling from a local real estate team. Well, there is a massive shortage of inventory of homes.
You hear it right there? Well, it's a strange transition, Angeli. Do you hear it for yourself?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I'm just adjusting to the script, and I don't want to, because when the script was given to me, it's like I'm reading it,
Yes.
and I just want to get into it and get the hang of it. So I was trying to say it naturally. So that's
Yeah.
why there were pauses because
Sure.
I'm remembering the words and all.
Well, see, listening to you right now in a non-scripted recording, you have a wonderful tone, and you sound very personal, and you sound very inviting. It's really hard in the beginning when something's new. I understand, because now you're under the pressure because you think we're going to be paying attention so tightly to this. I get it, but you are super personal. So one of the things, I know English isn't your first language too, and I've dealt with this in Maxie and Russell's call from the Philippines as well. Just be careful of the English words you use that buy you just a little extra time to say what you're about to say, but they sound weird to somebody who's a native speaker. See, because the opening here is really subtle. Okay, it's really subtle. But what happens to the feeling, and I'm the coach so I can hear the subtleties, but I'll bet most people on this phone can hear what I'm saying. I'm going to do it again, and you're going to hear her, Angela, you're going to hear yourself, go from very personal in the opening to almost like he knows you're really reading some generalized script. Watch and listen, and then I'm going to let it run. It's very subtle. So just like Karen's calls, you have to really listen to yourself. Here we go.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hi, Kevin. My name is Casey, and I'm calling from a local real estate team. Well, there is a massive shortage of inventory of homes in your neighborhood,
Good, better.
and sellers are getting top dollars right now.
Good.
Do you have any plans of selling within the next 12 months?
Not at this point.
Oh, okay.
Let-
Not at this point, but I keep hearing
Good.
the same story. Like,
Good.
it's a hot market. It's not a bad idea to sell home at the peak of the market situation. But
Good.
I think we're just not quite there yet. So.
I see. Well, do you have any actual plans of selling the property within the next 12 months?
No. But I have a few the homes, actually not the homes, the condos and homes and combination. But I'm trying to think that we may sell condos sometime next summer.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, okay. Well, how motivated are you? Why are you trying to sell your condo next summer?
Why?
Why would you be trying to sell it?
Yeah, it's being rented right now.
Oh,
It's
okay.
being rented, but it's a rental has been really good, and I have no problem keeping the tenants inside.
All right. Super.
But,
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated would you say you are?
I'm just kind of a half and half. Sometimes I feel like I have to sell. Other times, and I just don't feel like it. Just not quite yet. But I think
see.
that the home is we haven't decided anything, but the home is something that in a matter of a few years we need to sell home. Because I'm aging, I'm getting old, and I think it's a good idea to just a little bit at a time, one by one, just try to liquidate, and that's
Yes.
yeah.
I see. Well, is there some challenge?
You have any specific the buyer is ready to jump in?
Yeah, well, actually, Kevin, we don't make offers. As what I said, I'm in a local real estate team. Well, we help people sell their house and get the most amount of money possible when they're ready. Well, it seems that as you have mentioned, you're half and half. Well, is there some challenge my team leader could help you solve?
Good.
Right now, not ready.
Okay.
I have to say that right now we're not ready. So.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Kevin.
Yes,
Have a
bye-bye.
great day.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. 3 minutes, 23 seconds. I think you do a good job of balance. These are tough calls, by the way. I'm thrilled that we have some of these for the Friday sales training call. This is what it really sounds like to circle prospect, meaning you don't have a list of people you're calling that have a specific predilection to selling, right? There's no context really, other than they live in a geography, and hopefully that this property is assessed near or above the median price for what stuff is selling for. That's just to all you team leaders to think about the list that she's calling. But this is interesting. This call, this leaves me almost in a dilemma when it comes to longer term follow-up. So in Josh's case, where he as the owner has a very clear business plan to have Angeli and the rest of his telemarketing staff make a high volume of calls. This leaves him in a dilemma because this guy said next summer. So presuming this just happened, that's just outside of 12 months. And you hear a lot of the new language that I gave him already being used by Angeli. And Angeli, by the way, wonderful job learning new tricks and getting there. You stumbled on one earlier and he said, huh? Right? But you corrected yourself. You're very calm.
Thank you.
You're very patient. Yeah. You don't get nervous. This is really good. I mean, the quality of what you're doing is good. And it's only 3 minutes and 23 seconds. And I think everybody listening to her call that ends up in a long call, she does a very good, it's subtle, and there's never going to be an exact piece of advice I nor anybody else could give about keeping him inside the guardrails. She doesn't let him run away with her, his thoughts. Now, unfortunately, in this case, she doesn't get to, do you know any neighbors? Because I want you all to make the best use of your time. Maybe he has a family member, somebody else, but until you ask him, does he know anybody? We don't know. So it's gone long. And Jelly, just be careful that you don't get sick and tired of the whole script because this guy stretched you out and because you're under pressure that you're supposed to meet certain numbers, because you're giving a very good piece of data, a qualitative piece of data to Josh and the manager. I forget the manager's name, but this is 3 minutes and 23 seconds of effectiveness. You are effective. You are getting somebody to tell you, I'm not quite there. And the nurturer, this could be a perfect candidate for what he's trying to do with nurturing. See, this is a case that I will make to Josh. This is the type of call where the information packet that we talk about should go out to them, and the nurturer should possibly start to get this guy looking at stuff. He's getting older. He's definitely going to sell. He's going to sell something. There's no doubt about it. And this guy could be tipped over inside the next 24 months to 18 months. It sounds like to me. Okay. So good job. I'll talk to Josh about the business end of his decision, but this is a classic long-term nurture. And if his business decision is to take those somewhere, then good. Okay. Let's move.
Right.
Let's move on. I think, did I do 2 already? I did 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to number 3 because they're not named. There we go.
Hi, Cherry?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Cherry. My name is Casey, and I'm calling from a local real estate team. Well, there is a massive shortage of inventory of homes in your neighborhood.
I'm going to say it again. Get rid of the word well in that transition. I know you're trying to make this you, and I know you say the word well. It's just a bad habit because you're speaking English as a second language. You're using it as a transition. It's actually slightly, not dramatically, hurting you. Okay? Because it sounds just strange to an American ear like mine that you would need that word there because you don't, right? If you could just learn how to say, hi, Danny, this is Angeli calling from a local real estate team. And the reason I'm calling you is because, okay? And the reason I'm calling you is because, you want to write that down?
Oh, yes.
And the reason
actually, I just got the feedback yesterday from the time that I started dialing. Well, I actually tried to take that out because I understand that it creates like a confusion perhaps. But yeah, I'm working on it right now.
Yeah. And the reason I'm calling is because that's a trigger to the brain, okay? The brain gets triggered to be curious. When I say there's a reason, and I start with the word because Because is a trigger word. It's mentioned in Robert Cialdini's book called Influence. If you're interested in hearing his audiobook or reading it, Cialdini is spelled Cialdini. Cialdini. Robert Cialdini wrote a book called Influence. And somewhere embedded in that book, he talks about the word because as a trigger word. Whatever it does, it makes the brain lean in and listen. So for telemarketing, it's a really important word. And so eliminating the word, it's a nice segue. The word and in the English language is definitely a segue, right? It ties two pieces of a sentence together. My name is Angeli. I'm calling from a local real estate team, and I'm calling because it's just nice and smooth. And that will flow out of you because you speak very deliberately and beautifully with your tone. If you can connect that together, now you'll probably have their brain triggered to listen to you. Because why? Because there's a massive shortage of listings or properties for sale in your neighborhood. Very simple. Let's get it out of your mouth. So we were wondering if you're thinking about selling. And this will be so much better. Let's listen to the rest of it.
And sellers are getting top dollars right now. Do you have any plans of selling within the next 12 months?
Roughly January of 23. We're in the middle of remodeling right now and have renters in there till January of next year.
Wow, super specific.
Okay.
I'm just going to stop it right here for a second and say, here we go again. When you circle prospect, you have to expect, all of you, because a lot of you were talking about this, a lot of my mastermind members, you're talking about circle prospecting, and Josh is one of our new ones, which is great to have new people come into the mastermind. His whole plan, he doesn't even do expireds yet, he will, but he started with this, where he finds us in the world, and you can see that what it's actually creating is the longer term, but very specific person. This is extremely specific. She has an extremely specific time frame for when she's going to do it. So imagine now that 2023 is a couple years away. I get it, right? But she's very specific. And so if there is a long-term nurture program where she could get put on at least the informational portion, where she's getting a newsletter, so she's up to date on how the market's doing, and she's getting solds in her area, and she's getting seller tips, all that time's going to go by where Josh's business gets to be in front of her in an informational way. That's super powerful. And then his nurturer from time to time on a quarterly basis, which is the longest you'd want to go without a call, just says, hey, just want to make sure you got the quarterly update from us. Yep, boom. Yep, boom. Now, by the time it starts to get closer and closer and closer, the frequency of the touches that we call start to shrink. Now we're calling bi-monthly or monthly. Now we're down to bi-weekly or weekly, right? So this is a real business decision for him that Angeli and this effort are already extremely effective in rooting out two people back to back we've heard here that are definitely long-term nurturers, right? And to a certain extent, they both gave specificity and time frame. I'm thinking about selling the condo next summer. February 2023 or whatever she said, right? January, I just remember 2023, early. So here we go to the rest of the call. Or not. Let's see. It's stuck. Yep.
January of next year, that's around a year and more, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, why would you want to sell it?
We're living in New Mexico.
Oh, I see. On the scale of 1 to 10, how motivated do you think you are?
To sell 10.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, yeah,
Ooh.
it sounds like you do have a plan in selling it then. I'll have my team leader call you back. What is the best way for him to get in touch with you?
Just this phone number.
Yeah. Why do you ask that question? You got her on this phone number. Is that in your script?
Yeah, well, actually, that's the last part of my script.
Okay.
It's actually checking if how they want to be contacted, like from emails or something. I'm not sure.
No, don't ever go. I'm going to tell Josh, don't ever go backwards.
Yes.
You reach somebody on the phone. Don't ever go backwards. It's never okay to then text and email. You don't want to lose this intimacy, right? See, Josh and I are learning there are different contexts within which he wrote those scripts, and they're not translating necessarily to right now. This is an excellent job. And by adding this few simple steps that we've learned in this group, this is a minute and 12 seconds. You have found somebody who's a 10, right? End the job. You're done. What's the best place to call him back? Let's listen to the very end.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Cherie. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Yeah, don't rush the end. You're a little bit rushing at the end. Say, wonderful. I'll have him call you at this number. Thank you so much for your time. Slow down a little bit, okay? Because the way that you sound it, you're rushing. It almost sounds rude, right? It's subtle. Again, these are subtleties. You're so good, Angeli. Okay, you're so good, and you are an incredibly good student. To have learned this without never having spoken to me before, between Josh and you, what a team. Bravo. I'm super impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super impressed. This is just really good work, okay? More. I want more. I want more from you. Each week, you keep coming to me, okay?
Okay.
And Angeli, I would expect you to give me some difficult ones where you feel challenged, okay? Don't always give me just your best. Give me some of the ones where you felt a little bit off or you weren't sure, okay? Cool.
Yes.
Bravo. Awesome. I don't know if Josh was listening in, but if he wasn't, make sure he goes back and listens to the recording. Very good. I'm impressed by you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Buddy, that's just unbelievable. Bravo. 5 gold stars to you as a new mastermind member and her to make adjustments that quickly. That was super effective. And you can see where she turns those 2 long-term prospects. I mean, that's 24 months out, but they're both relatively, the guy is less certain than the woman, but there's certainty there, right? So if that were to go into a system for the long-term nurturer, there's where the long-term nurturer takes over, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff though. Real good. I mean, just exciting that you're making that much progress that fast with Angeli at least. And then we've got to filter it into the rest of the telemarketing team and get that nurturer involved. We should keep these calls, please. And then maybe if we can grab the nurturer next week on our call or this call next week, let's start to incorporate that person in here because I'm now seeing a place for the longer term telemarketer in your business because those are good leads. And you would never want to have had Angeli and your manager and everybody create those and just leave them. There's big time long-term money in that right there. If she's going to get those on the regular, right?
Yeah, we used to have the standards of 24 months, but the challenge now is that we've got so many people that are so far out that it's like, I don't know, we're not adding enough value over the next 18 months for them to really remember us.
But that's what I was mentioning that has been the mastermind topic for now 3 weeks in a row. That's exactly what I'm mentioning is that in there, we now need the information. You need the market update going out digitally monthly. You need, if they're really serious, the solds can be added. Right? If somebody's managing that, the solds can be added from MLS, the email evergreen seller tip series. I'll talk to you, make a footnote. I want to talk to you about that on our one-on-one next week, but you have big opportunity there. We just have to kind of refine it up a little bit as to what's going to happen in that spot because there's no sense in throwing that future business away because it will start to become now business. If we do this today, 18 to 24 months out, you have a whole layer of certainty coming your way. Follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, bravo, though. Yeah, bravo. Bravo to both of you. Yeah, good, real good. All right, let's keep rolling. That was great. It's so great to have really smart people in this mastermind group. I appreciate y'all for that, and especially this new perspective of circle prospecting. We're all going to win from this one. Let's see. Russell, I recognize I do have one from you, but I have Sarah Corey first. And I have both Jada and the big Dave. Dave, you coming in my hot seat first. Jada, you're second, okay?
Sure thing.
Okay. Here comes Big D. Let's listen to one of his. Haven't heard one in a while. Here we go.
Hello. Hi, is this Melanie? This is she. Hi, Melanie. This is Dave. I'm calling from Metro City Property Group with Remax. Actually, in regards to an inquiry that you had at 30 Viscount Avenue. You were looking for an evaluation of the property, and I wanted to provide that to you, but I actually had a few questions about the place first, if that's okay.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about the place. Is it a 2-story, a bungalow?
Well, it's a 1.5 story, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, finished basement. What else would you like to know?
Do you know what year it was built?
1950s, I think.
How long have you owned it for?
About 5 years now.
Is there a garage?
Yes, it's a 1-car garage.
So what was the purpose of looking for an evaluation? Were you guys thinking about selling the property?
Well, we talked about it a bit, and yeah, probably.
How come you guys are thinking about making a move?
Well, we are empty nesters, and the house is getting a little too big for us. So my sister has a place in Ajax, and we're thinking of moving closer to her.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated would you say you are to making a move?
Maybe a 7.
Right, so based on what you told me, I would actually recommend having an in-home evaluation instead in order to give you the most accurate data. And while we're there, we can go over our 7-step plan to show you how we do business, which will be available sometimes during the days or during the evenings.
Well, we are actually going to be going to Ajax tomorrow to visit my sister. So we are going to have to put this off until we are back.
Okay, when will you guys be back?
About 2 weeks or so.
All right, sounds good. I'll touch base with you guys when you're back. But in the meantime, I'd like to send you a package that has a little bit more data and information regarding the sale of
Can
your
you
home.
send it to me by email? Because we are not going to be here, so we won't get it otherwise.
Yeah, you're right. Let me check here. Your melaniejudges@gmail.com?
Yeah, that works.
Perfect. I'll send it sometime later today.
Okay. Yeah. Here's what I would say about this. This is legitimate, where she's worried about the mail getting there. So we can't do the physical thing. She's going away. You do a good job of sticking to the seller qualifying, type of questions. They're a little bit disjointed where you say, how long have you owned it? And you go right back to tactical stuff. I mean, you're trying to fulfill, right, Dave, on a home evaluation. And so just stick to it. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, square feet, very basic. We don't need to get into garages and, just like get the basics. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, right? How many square feet if you know. And, you can really almost like stop there because it gets you started. Are there any other particular features that make the house unique? Let her answer that question. So we go from quantitative, hardcore, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and qualitative. Are there any special features to the property? Let her answer that. So we've got 3 and 1 qualitative. It's enough. That's enough to fulfill the basics of what, a bold lead or any other online lead really needs. Then segue into, great, wonderful. We'll start to put that together with you. Fulfillment done. It's very similar to the beats that we have. Wonderful. I'll get that package out to you. Is this the best place to send it to? Right? Just finish all that over there. It just needs to be, less melded together. It's still effective, but it's just cleaner if we finish that and then we segue and we say, hey, wonderful, while I have you, I'll get that out to you. Because she would have said, well, we're going to be away and could you email? Well, I can email some of it. When will you be back? It's best that I just time it so it actually arrives at your door. We can courier it over and drop it off, whatever the case is. I can send you. And Sarah Corey, are you here with me too? I hope so.
Yeah, I'm
here,
Danny.
Okay, so Sarah, I think what would be important here would be that you come up with an emailable package that's just, it's less than the full package, but it's easy for them to pump out the door. Got it?
Yes, got it.
Yeah, because we don't want to send everything, because the reality is with leads like this, there are going to be people that you might want to just email something to. So come up with a cover letter that is like a direct response cover letter. Hey, here's this, understand what its limitations are, but we wanted to get it to you. Of course, if you're thinking about, moving inside the next 12 months, we're happy to have a home visit to further evaluate the property and tell you what the current market value truly is, right? Something like that. We can work with it. It's similar to the cover letters that are already written. So take a hack at it and then you and I can talk about it. Okay. But arm them with something. But Dave, my critique for you is make sure that we have a very clear, and Sarah, make sure Tarek, Steve, know I said this. 1, 2, 3, couple of, technicals, one qualitative. Oh, by the way, why were you asking for this? Right? Were you thinking about selling? Right. Or why were you thinking about selling? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, you heard Angeli, who's this is the first time she's ever seen this language. It's unbelievably effective language because it allows someone, why are you thinking about selling it? Because, and they answer, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you? That's a pretty big reason, right? And now they clarify. What you're doing, and I said this yesterday, they're allowing you to guide them through their own journey. All this stupid thinking, stinking thinking, like Zig Ziglar used to call it, the stinking thinking in this business is that like they're lying to us or they're not telling us the truth. It's just such a naive, non-sales educated thing to think for all of us, right? Because the truth is they don't know. Like you could hear in Angeli's call, geez, I don't know. Like 1 minute I'm thinking I should because everybody says sell at the top of the market. Then I'm like, I'm not because I'm stuck in the property. They just don't know. So our job is to guide them towards a clearer, educated place. And most of them that are engaging us are going to sell. Most of them, or are going to buy. Because if we found them in some context or they took some action, even if it's still very subconscious level for them and barely conscious, there's a real reason. So if we clean up the fulfillment, leave it separate and say, hey, by the way, while I have you, what's going on? Why are you thinking about selling the property? Really? Wow. On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated would you say you are? Well, that's not that very, very high. Is there something we could help with that would make it higher? Right? So we get used to using these tools to guide this person's mind to reveal itself not just to us, but to themselves. And if they co-create that experience, they're more likely to reward us with the business eventually. Got it, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why you separate that out. You're so good at this, but that's why we really want to be more structured. Finish it. You're such a nice way with people, Dave. Like you're so effective. And your natural, sense of humor, and you laughed there. Yep, that would make sense if I sent it and you're not there. I like that. That's Dave, right? And like I was saying to Karen, it's that balance of remembering I've got to get the structure done so I'm clear. If me, Dave, I want to be successful, I've got to, okay, good, let's get this out. Okay, I can't mail it, but we could probably even hand deliver it when she gets back. Sure, let me get you the email, but when you're back, we want to get you the full package. Sarah, Dave, that's what I want, right? Something like that. But this is good. Sorry, everybody, it was a little bit dim in its volume. So if you could make sure somehow we get a better quality recording, Dave, I love listening to your calls because it's so easy to help you. And we know you've been wildly effective when you've tightened your stuff up. So tighten your ship up on these types of leads. I'd love to hear it again. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just a good job. And any questions? Because I know usually you like to follow up with a question. Any questions, thoughts, anything you want to add?
It's funny you say that. This time, not really.
Yeah, good. Bravo.
Really
Well,
this time.
yeah, bravo. I just want to respect it, because I know you're curious yourself and you're a good learner.
Yeah.
So good, cool. Because for you, it's just pretty straightforward, man. We got to the point with you where you're just so good at this and you're such a successful guy at this already. It's very important for you to revisit, am I staying inside the guardrails, right? You almost just get so relaxed and so casual, you start to lose it a little bit, which I think could, in the long run for you, Dave, over the course of doing a lot of volume, the accordion starts to open up a little bit too long, right? Calls get a little bit too long. And over a lot of calls and a lot of weeks, that can steal time from you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
there's a lot of stuff I try to be pretty efficient on. I think that's an example of a pretty crisp call, at least time wise. But sometimes it's going off the rails a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, very. And that's why I said Angeli was very good at that. But in the same breath, you see, that you can do that and get deeply involved because you know what, Dave? You're sitting there in an office, you're making these phone calls. Autumn makes them at home. Kathy makes them at home. It gets a little lonely sometimes. Right? And you find that human connection with somebody on the phone and you start to get high helping them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think you have to be cognizant over time that if we drift too far off on that, what happens is we lose our way inside the guardrails. I have cones all set up for you. I'm not saying you can't bump up against the guardrails. Go ahead. It's going to happen. Just don't flip over them on me. And if you're out in the poppy fields with Dorothy, as I like to say, now we're really getting hurt and we're no longer effective even on the crisp calls. But this is good. That's not your problem. It's just a reminder for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good job. But I want to hear more of those bold lead calls where you tighten up. Just less like I think some of them can go off the guardrails when they start to go, oh, and I put, copper nails in the house. And then I did, architectural grade shingle. We don't need all that. We don't need that. We're not there yet. In fact, that's what the outside salesperson will see when they arrive. And that will come into the pricing it right? All right.
Yeah. The one thing I do like, though, when I do get into those questions with people is if someone wants to talk about some of the stuff they've been done in the house, I do like to kind of throw a comment in like if they say, oh, we redid the floors, I'll say something like, oh, how did you guys redo them, or when did you redo them?
Totally.
Just to show that I'm listening.
Oh, totally. Dave, that's the second beat that I'm talking about. So look at it. How many bedrooms? How many baths? Right? Any idea what the square footage is? Boom. 1, 2, 3. By the way, are there any special features? Did you do any upgrades? Just like that. Now they say it. Wonderful. How'd you do them? Boom. On to the next qualitative for time. So I'm with you. It's just make sure it's separate. Okay. Finish the business end of it so that, quickly you can come up with some sold comps, that are similar to those. And you really just need bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage to go that shallow. That's the least amount of info we could get. But then if you ask for special product, well, I have a 2-car garage, not a 1. Oh, okay. So now that buffs it up. Or redid the kitchen. Really? Like what'd you do? How much you spend doing that? You know what I mean? Sure, Dave. That's your qualitative. Just don't let that place go too big. That's the place I'm talking about where you personalize it and you are a good listener. And that's where you can have some fun with the job. Just don't let it get out of the barn too far. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good stuff, though, from you, as usual. Jada.
Hi, Danny.
How you doing, darling?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. The sun is shining in Ottawa today, so we're happy.
I love it. I'm in the Midwest today. Wisconsin is really shining here today. So here we go. Hang on.
Hello, am I speaking with Rhea Paul?
Yes.
Hello, Rhea. It's Jada calling from Metro Cities Property Group with REMAX. I'm calling in regards to a home evaluation you requested from us for 171 Lamplighter Drive. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. I wanted to get that information out to you. I just had a couple more questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. I was just wondering, what was the purpose in finding the evaluation today?
I was just curious, actually. I just wanted to know because I thought them.
Here's a perfect example. There's 2 things I don't love about the order. That's it. Love your tone. Love everything. One, Sarah Corey, you need to pay close attention to this too, just so we make sure whatever they're reading from or coming from gets adjusted. Okay. One, both of you asked for permission, right? Remember, you don't need to go there. You're the authority. They asked us for something. You are first and foremost the fulfillment department. You asked for the proper 123 Lamplighter, and I just had a few questions to give you the best information. Period. Right? Just have a few questions. Like, you don't have to ask permission. It's starting to sound like the shrinking violet syndrome again, where you don't have to ask permission. And when you don't have to ask permission because the fulfillment is presumed, then just go for it. Okay? Because what you're doing in the rare chance is you're giving them a way out. Right? And that might just be in their mind's eye or whatever it is. I just don't think you all need it. Okay? I just don't think it's necessary. The second thing is, in this call, you don't fulfill first at all. Right? You start to ask why. It's way too soon, I think. I'm sure you're probably going to get away with it in this call. Because, she asked you for something, you're fulfilling. And in Canada, everybody's forgiving to a large extent on the average. But as trying to get best practices down, the way that Dave started his call versus the way that, you start yours, he moves into it smoother, right? This is too abrupt. I mean, against best practices. Again, it could be effective because she asked for something and you're probably going to get the answers. But you have to understand it's like a crescendo. You're crescendoing up to the big moment in the orchestra where da-da-da-da, appointment booked, right? That's the big one. But it's just 46 seconds in and there's really been nothing in it for her yet. There's no give and take on fulfillment, okay? Jada, does that make sense? Sarah, Corey, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I know we were asking why before, like first, because we were trying to weed out the whimsical inquiries.
Yeah, but you're still going to get it. Yeah. You're still going to get it. And really what we're trying to do, like if it's not really there, she's going to find out. But what if it is there? What if it is there? What if it is there and she turns people off doing it this way? You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So I want you to be careful of, there are times where it's definitely going to be there and we just want to set it up the right way. Okay. So I don't want you sending something out to somebody whimsically too. And I get that seller, leads off the internet are whimsical, but listen to Dave's call versus this one. He just gets there nicely, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Here we go. Right.
The market looked really good, so I was just curious to see how much our house value was.
Of course, we've got lots of those phone calls coming in, surely, with this market.
Okay, who cares? See what I'm saying? It changes the tone of everything. We have lots of phone calls coming into us. I'm going to exaggerate it. You don't sound like that, Jada, but the language does. I'm 56 seconds in now, and there's really nothing in it for her. This is all about, we want to know why you're doing this because we don't want you wasting our time and our money. Now, that's us behind the scenes training. I'm not saying Jada sounds like this at all. She doesn't. But the language is nowhere near the best case. Nowhere near. We have a lot of this. It's we, me. It sounds like that to me because I have a trained ear. Okay, let's keep going.
If given the right number.
Oops, it froze up. Let's try again from the top. Let's see if it goes. Otherwise, you got to start it again. Because it's a good call to analyze. Let's try one more time from the top. I'll let it run the whole way.
Hello, am I speaking with Rhea Paul?
Yes.
Hello, Rhea. It's Data calling from Metro Cities Property Group with REMAX. I'm calling in regards to a home evaluation you requested from us for 171 Lamplighter Drive. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. I wanted to get that information out to you. I just had a couple more questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. I was just wondering, what was the purpose in finding the evaluation today?
I was just curious, actually. I just wanted to know because I thought the market looked really good, so I was just curious to see how much our house value was.
Of course. We've got lots of those phone calls coming in, surely, with this market.
Mm-hmm.
If given the right number after I send you your evaluation, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated would you be to sell the next year?
Actually, this is like, I would say probably not, maybe around a 6 or 7.
Okay.
But I'm just curious. I just want to see because, curiosity gets the best of everyone.
No, of course. Yeah, no stress at all. So what I'm going to do for you, Rhea, is I'm going to mail out a market analysis for you. What this is going to look like is how the homes around you have been selling, similar homes, how they're selling around you within the last year. This will give us a nice little guesstimate as to what your home would look like should you put it on the market at this time. And after you receive that information, if that number 6, 7 kind of starts to spill into like an 8 or a 9 kind of thing, then maybe we could have somebody come over and walk through the home, do a true home evaluation, and see where you're at.
All right, for sure.
Sounds good. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'll mail this out to you at 171 Lamplighters Drive in Nepean. The postal code I have on hand here is K2J.
Okay. I'm just going to leave my thoughts where they were. This could be much better because the fulfillment is not there, right? It's not there. And it just doesn't open her up. I mean, a 6 or a 7 could be solvable, but it's just like when I listen to this type of a call, Sarah Corey especially, it's just, this script is just so old school and cringy to me. It's not Jada. She's awesome, right? I mean, you give Jada the right words to say, she's awesome. It's got a beautiful voice, a great way, but you're making her work. You're making the lady work. Everybody's working too hard here. You follow me, Sarah Corey?
Yeah, I follow what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just too much work. It just feels like everybody's sweating after this. You know, I'm not thrilled by the language, and that's got nothing to do with you, Jada. Nothing. It's just a matter. It's a matter of giving you permission to have a better order to things, right?
Right. If I may, Danny,
Yeah.
I definitely like take things in my own hands sometimes and go off script. As you can tell, I'm a rambler sometimes, so I do have to stay more on script. However, I'm a little bit confused because in the last couple months of trading with you, I feel like we've condensed our script.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep it tighter. I feel like I'm taking from you, not asking too many questions about the home, leave that to the agent and whatnot.
Yes.
And then I feel like I've been trying to take that direction of going straight for the purpose, the why, the purpose. And I'm like, and now I'm.
All right. Well, don't get confused. I'm going to make it very clear to you.
Thank you.
The first beat in any of these scripts, I don't care what the lead is, fulfill, serve. That's not here. And that's a common theme ever since I've been running my own company for 10 years. So everybody hear me say that. When in doubt, serve first, fulfill first, meaning they have asked you for something. If it's inbound, you are serving them with that stuff. If you're outbound, okay, you're telling them, I know who you are. I have something for you. I want to serve you, and I'm going to fulfill it by sending it. I know what you asked for, okay, and I'm going to give that to you. Jada, don't ever get confused about that again. Everything, I don't care what happens in the second beat until that beat is down with everybody in this group. You must be of service authentically, and you must fulfill, period. Because what that does in my world is it sets you all up to not have to work as hard to find out why are they thinking about selling it and how motivated they are. Then you can determine what the business decision is. See, Josh had circle prospecting calls. He's got a tough business decision to make. He got some real success out of it. You get to the point where there might be a chance that this gal can be tipped. But the way that we end up, because things are out of order, it's like it's out of order. And what I said is very precise. I don't want all the details of the property. That is rambling. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Great. Do you know the square footage? Okay, super. Any special feature? Super. Jada, that happens in seconds. And the reason for just a little information is presumably if you are going to send something out, instead of putting in we just threw a circle around you. You can say, okay, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whoever does the fulfillment, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1-car garage, boom. Now the fulfillment is more specific. And when it goes out to them, it's limited. It is nothing more than the solds that are most like the limited information they gave us. That's fulfillment, right? So you have to understand that what's going out the door to them is more relevant by just a few quick basics. That's what that means. But you're right. You pled guilty. I'm a rambler, Danny. You know that. So is Dave. So is every human. Okay? I don't think we have any cyborgs on this call today, but so is every human here. We want to talk to them. We want to let them tell us too much. Okay? So the idea is fulfillment is like Amazon. All right, you requested 6 pairs of socks with the blue stripes. Is that right? Yes, wonderful. We'll put those in the mail to you. Hey, by the way, while I was having you, talking to you, why do you need socks? Well, I'm a runner. Geez, that's wonderful. Would you like to see our sneaker collection too? If I fulfill, then I can ask and open up because I served them. It was you wanted this. I'm going to give this. Great, I'm going to send it here. Hey, by the way, will I have you? Why did you want this information? Well, I'm just curious. Market's hot. Yeah, it sure is. Right? Sure is. Right. And great. How motivated are you? I mean, I know that's sort of a general reason, but how motivated would you be to sell it in the next 12 months? Not if I got you the right number. How motivated would you be to sell it in the next 12 months. Now you can start to clarify it, right? Well, if it was a home run number, would that change it? Because I can send an agent over. You might be shocked. It's a crescendo. But don't ever be confused again by anything I say. When you hear these calls, it should be block 1, fulfill and serve, right? Block 2, that opens up why and how motivated on a scale of 1 to 10. Block 3 is the offer you make given what they just said. Got it?
I do.
And Jada, the difference is you started to sound like every other cold caller, which like I'm desperately trying to keep you all away from sounding like. I want you to be so unique when they pick up the phone that they start to lean in and say, well, this is different. That didn't sound different from every other cold caller in Ottawa. It just didn't, right? And that's what I'm desperately trying to achieve here with this group. Don't be everybody else. Serve and fulfill, beat 1. Why and 1 to 10. Why and 1 to 10. Then make your offer that's appropriate, right? Those 3 beats, Jada. Just hit them, right?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Cool. All right, I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to grab Russell. Jada, good work, though. I just love the tone of your voice. And I'm sorry if I confused you. So hopefully we go back to a reiteration to everybody. Beats are first. Those are the biggest, chunkiest things I can give you to hang on to. Stay in the guardrails on serve and fulfill. Then it is about you asking provocative questions and getting your answers. But you fulfilled and served first, so it's so easy for you to get those next answers, okay? All right, Russell, my man.
Hey.
You're it, buddy. You're the one that we're going to close the show with. Here we go, pal.
Oh.
Hello?
Hi, Kezia.
This is?
Hi, this is Russell with Weisbarth and Associates Real Estate.
Oh, yes. Hi.
Just checking back to see if you guys have talked about resuming your home search in the Seattle area.
Yeah. I think we're just kind of keeping our eyes on the market. I mean, it's kind of rough right now, price-wise. It seems like it. I mean, it doesn't ever really go down, but we like the Ballard and Fremont areas, and trying to think. And we're also kind of open, I guess, to the east side as well. But
do you have a price range in mind?
Probably around, I want to say 600 to 800 is kind of the ideal, which it kind of puts us with less options. I think we would want 3 bedrooms, 1 bath is all we would need, but some yard space would be ideal.
Okay, all right.
And not like a townhome. We're looking for a regular house.
Okay. By the way, why are you guys looking to make a move?
Well, we're in an apartment now. We've been renters. We've always been renters, and so I think just we have a 3-year-old, and so I think looking into settling into an area where schools are good and where there can be kind of some stability, and we can kind of start investing in where we're living versus just paying into a black hole.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you?
I would say, for the right thing, we'd be 9 or 10.
Awesome.
I think the hardest thing is just finding the right thing and before somebody else snatches it up.
Yeah. So if you can find the right home, would you be willing to make a move right away, or do you need some time to get ready still?
That would probably be my husband. Probably be the limiting factor there because he's a little bit more cautious about things. So I think understanding the market and everything. It probably depends, but
makes sense. So do you guys have a realtor to help you out when the time is right?
We don't.
Okay, well,
what I can do is I can get you connected with one of our agents, and they can give you some pretty good insights on the market.
Good.
And also go over the plan we've put together to make sure you are successful once you do find the right home. Because I'm sure you've noticed already, and as you mentioned, that homes get snatched up pretty quickly. So we have a pretty good we have a pretty good track record, and we'd like to show that to you and how we how our plan works. Additionally, part of that plan is to get you set up with the search directly on the Northwest MLS. That's the main source for all the homes for sale. That way you can you'll get a notification the moment a property becomes available in your criteria, before it shows up on any of the public websites out there. There's no cost. Yeah, no cost at all, no obligation.
Well
Do you
done.
think that would be helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done.
So when would be a good time to schedule like a phone meeting or virtual meeting to get you connected with one of our agents, and they'll get that all set up for you and give you the insights on the market. Are you guys more available mornings or afternoons? What's normally a good time?
Probably like early afternoons, like maybe like right around or after lunchtime.
Okay.
And then Monday through Friday. My husband works from home.
Russell.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a 10. It's the best. That's the best work you've done. My only little subtlety is there's still that little question mark in your voice at the very beginning. But my gosh, what a tremendous pace. What a gentle spirit with being effective. Understanding where you're at in the beats and making it two-way conversational. Russell, that's your best call yet.
Cool. Thanks.
Boom. Like it's that good. Like just so effective. And it's long because you're gentle with her, but it's still only 4 minutes and 15 seconds for a quality appointment. And you've discovered a 9 to 10, right? So I'm happy for you. You've worked hard at this. Just be careful of the question mark in your voice, right?
Yeah, I noticed that in the beginning.
Yep. Just it's a little bit question marky because remember, like I just said, it's similar to Jada. I mean, they came to us in the beginning. So, or maybe it wasn't Jada's call. I can't remember whose call it was, but they came to us in the beginning. We don't have to sound apologetic or question mark. They're silently begging to be led. And that's the key here. Right. So I just think, I don't want to go further with you today other than give you 5 gold stars. That's an excellent call for you. Excellent. Super effective. Super effective. You're a gentleman on this call. You clearly articulate, and your timing to make your offer. Jada, I was just saying this before, right? When he makes that offer, the timing is impeccable. He knows exactly where she stands. He can feel it. She's frustrated. She's not getting what she wants. She's worried about her price range. And he makes a beautiful offer. Well, look, the first thing is like, basically, let's just get you into MLS, which is the direct source. That would be great. And he also uses the word plan perfectly and insights perfectly. Insights, plan, and offer are all impeccable in this call. Bravo, dude. Real good. Please send it to Duran and tell him I gave you 5 gold stars for this. It's just very good.
All right.
Yep.
Cool, thanks.
Yep. Love hearing a winner. Boy, and I know you're no rookie to this, but that's how you go to the pro level right there. That's pro. Good stuff. Good stuff. Because that's just a really good, she knows the value in that appointment. That's for sure. All right, let's open it up to any final questions that you would have for me here. Any kind of questions. I know we end up doing a lot of telemarketing this because it's a hot topic. It's a challenge out there right now. Any kind of questions that anybody else would have that are burning about sales inside or outside that I could answer before I split? Going once, going twice. Going 3 times. All right, everybody, listen, have a fabulous weekend. Appreciate you. Autumn, I'll see you on our one-on-one, and Kathy, I'll see you after that. Appreciate everybody being here today. Good job. Bravo.
Bye, guys.